The Mavic Mini 2 just recently released, and we already have a slew of videos comparing it to the first version. But I think the more important and more difficult conversation is whether you're going to start with the Mavic Mini 2, the latest and greatest entry-level drone in the market right now, or go to the next level, which is the hobbyist prosumer drone, the Mavic Air 2. Oh, and spoiler alert, I chose the Mavic Air 2 over the Mavic Mini 2. If you're new to the channel, I am Jong Clemente. I am a hobbyist photographer and videographer. I post a bit of layman-friendly reviews of camera gear. I do vlog posts. I do behind-the-scenes videos of some of my fun shoots. And most importantly, I showcase live performances of my creative friends. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you know when I publish new content. Like many of you, I've been waiting for the Mavic Mini 2 to drop ever since I've heard that it was going to come out around November from rumors. I have been using the Mavic Pro 1 for a little over 2 years now, and I was ready for that next upgrade. And I was researching whether I was going to go with Mavic Mini 2 or the Mavic Air 2. Wow, I've seen this video and this video and that video, and definitely watch that video too. So I wanted to do a very concise pros and cons on whether I'm going to get the Mini 2 or the Air 2. So here are some reasons why it was so hard to decide between the Mini 2 and the Mavic Air 2. Firstly, software update. So the main reason I didn't get the Mini last year was that it did not have raw photos. So the original Mini had 2.7K and the new Mini 2 had 4K, but resolution isn't really the problem because usually what I do is shoot in 1080p and upscale it to 4K, so that didn't deter me too much. But now the addition of raw photos on top of the 4K resolution and the increase from 40 megabits per second to 100 megabits per second in the Mini 2, the margin between the Mini 2 and the Air 2 line of drones from DJI just got that much smaller. So another reason, something that might be a little bit minuscule, something that not a lot of YouTubers out there have been talking about, is the battery pack. The battery pack of the Mini line of drones not only charges the batteries 3 at a time compared to the Air 2 line of batteries, where you might be charging 3 batteries, but it charges the batteries sequentially. So it won't charge the second battery until the first battery is full, and it won't charge the third battery until the second battery is full, which I think was a little bit of a deficiency. But in the Mini line of chargers, you'll charge them all at the same time. The battery pack itself can be used to charge other things. So that's just a nifty tool. You basically have an extra portable battery bank for your other peripherals as well. Of course, the biggest reason why it's very hard to choose between the Mini 2 and the Air 2 is the price. The Mini 2 is $300 cheaper on both the regular just drone version as well as the Fly More combo compared to the Air 2 bundles. So $300 is a lot of money. So the exercise here is to justify the additional $300 in resources that you're going to put in. Some of the things that didn't make it hard for me to decide between the Mini 2 and the Air 2 that seems to be a hot topic with other reviewers out there is the size. The size of the Mini line is amazing. It fits in the palm of your hand. It does fit in your pocket. So one thing that has been silent in all of these reviews is that when you have a drone, you will most likely have a DSLR rig with you. You'll have your kit. You have a bag that has multiple compartments already. So whether it is a palm-sized type of device or like a slightly bigger than a palm-sized type of device, there will be space for that as well. Very rarely will you be bringing just a drone and just a controller on your trips. So I figured is kind of a moot topic or a moot detail in terms of my decision making in terms of drone. Another thing is that 249 grams, people make it seem like it skirts the law, but you have to remember, anything that you fly that has a camera on it is subject for confiscation, ticket, and whatnot. I live in New York. It's not allowed to fly anything anywhere anyway, so that wasn't one of my main considerations. The thing that I've been hearing a lot in the dozens of reviews that I've watched the past couple of days is that the Mini 2 is the best beginner drone, which is great. But in my mind, if you are investing north of $400 on any camera gear, you are growing. This is not your first camera. This is probably another tool in your set of camera gears, multiple cameras, multiple lenses. So you're well in your way in your photographic and videographic journey. At that level, if you're considering drones for your footage, for your documentation, you need to look at things that will elevate your craft and not just something that you'll be doing for fun. Although fun is one of the most important things that you need to consider when you're buying any gear for any hobby. There are really two main reasons why I chose the Mavic Air 2 over the Mavic Mini 2. So firstly, the Cine-like. Any aspiring or amateur videographer out there, I really suggest the first thing that you really invest in learning is color grading. If you're not familiar with Cine-like, it is a flat picture profile that will provide you the most flexibility in bringing back exposure, color, and sharpness in your footage when you are editing it in post. If you are editing anything in video, I urge you to learn even the most basic things of color grading. There are so many programs out there. There are free LUTs or lookup tables that you can download in Google or in YouTube videos that you're watching that you can literally drag and drop their footage and it will enhance your footage. And you just have a lot more leeway on how to really unlock what type of story your image wants to tell. So though the Mini 2 has improved its image quality leaps and bounds, not having the Cine-like profile on there just limits what you can do to your image in post, and that's something that I don't want to take a risk on whenever I'm doing even just personal projects, because I really do want to unlock the best possible version of the footage that I've taken. Secondarily, something that I really enjoyed in researching the Mavic Air 2 is the active track. Even if the automated drone follow feature of the Mavic Air 2 and more advanced drone is not perfect, even just having a little bit of footage where the drone follows you and it's in an angle where a friend cannot be holding your camera for you, it just unlocks so many possibilities in terms of you making B-roll, particularly for self-shooters like me. And that's not to mention if you want to track a moving subject like a car in an open road or a boat in a river. Those can all be done manually, but having just a little bit more assistance frees you up to use your energies to something more important to your project, which is content and creativity. You can just go to your app, draw a box around your subject, and it'll follow it the way that you want it. That's just something that I know the algorithms will just improve more and more in the future. In closing, for any hobby or craft, the goal is to have fun and get good, possibly get paid, possibly do it more. And the way that you could do that is to make an environment with the skills that you are learning as well as the tools that you're using so that it can push you forward to elevate every step that you do. For me, I always try to acquire gear that is just slightly beyond my skill level, because if one is motivated enough, you will grow into it and you will exceed it. So if your ceiling is that much lower and you hit your maximum potential right away, it might actually hinder you from exploring new possibilities. That's not to say that the tool is the most important thing. No. So many amazing photographers and videographers out there use the most basic of tools. It's never the arrow, it's always the archer. But if you're continuously growing, having gear that can grow with you might give you that little bit of edge to really actualize your potential in your passion. With that, this is my Mavic Air 2. I hope that I see you again in the next video.